So we have two very stark examples of encountering the Lord, of listening to the Lord. We have in our first reading King Ahaz. From the book of the prophet Isaiah, the prophet goes to him and asks, ask anything of the Lord. Ahaz says, no, I would never tempt the Lord. And then we have Joseph, who has a dream and totally changes his decision-making process in response to the dream. These two very stark, very different approaches to an encounter with the Lord can teach us something immensely important. Our first reading comes from the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 7. And it seems like this scene kind of comes out of nowhere, like Isaiah just shows up. But there's more, there's a context to it. And if we read what's going on around, we see that something very serious is happening at this point in history, 8th century BC. You see, the kingdoms of Aram and Ephraim have joined forces against the kingdom of Judah. Wow. Yeah, none of you know what I'm talking about. But we know what all these things are. We just need a little bit of history. So after King Solomon, son of David, Israel splits in two. There's the northern and the southern kingdom. The southern kingdom is based around its capital, Jerusalem, and it is called Judah, after the one tribe that remained faithful to Moses and the law. 10 tribes broke away under the leadership of one of Solomon's generals, Jeroboam. And they became the northern kingdom, which was called Israel or Ephraim. So both of these kingdoms claim to be the true remnant. We're Israel. We are the ones following the law of Moses. You're wrong. But the northern kingdom, Ephraim, aligns with Aram. What language did they speak in Jesus' time? Not Hebrew. Aramaic. Aram comes from that country. It still exists today, just has a different name. Its capital is Damascus, Syria. Gentiles. That's a big deal. That's a no-no. The northern kingdom is aligning with unclean people to attack the southern kingdom. God's not pleased with this. And in response, he sends Isaiah. Now, brothers and sisters, this is a crisis moment for Ahaz. He knows what's happening. He knows that his people, his nation, his money, his power, his throne is at risk. And a known prophet, Isaiah, it's not up for debate at this point. Everyone knows Isaiah is a prophet. He's proven himself. And Ahaz says no. I mean, that's the point. You could ask for anything. Ask for the angel of the Lord to protect Jerusalem. Ask that God open a hole in the ground and the armies of evil are cast into it. You can ask for anything for the good of your people and yourself. But Ahaz wants nothing to do with that. Whether it's because he doesn't really believe, whether it's because his faith is in other things like money and violence, whether he knows that whenever you ask something of the Lord, it always comes with a responsibility. Whatever his reasoning, no, I don't want anything. I won't ask. And Isaiah says, you already burdened me. Must you burden my God as well? Like, can't you just say yes? Okay. You don't want to participate? Fine. The Lord will create the sign himself. The virgin shall bear a son, and you shall call him Emmanuel. Think about the context a little bit more. God with us. When would devout Jews shout that? When would they use that phrase? If they were going into battle. It took 700 years for that promise to be fulfilled. But imagine if Ahaz had said yes. If he had put himself aside, his own ideas, his own plans, his own fears, and just said yes to God. Maybe things would have been different. But as it were, he said no. And the Israelites suffered immensely because of it. 750 years later, a child is born. But just before that happens, Joseph hears word that his wife, Mary, is with child. Brothers and sisters, it's a story as old as time. And human wisdom tells Joseph exactly what he should do. Just dismiss her quietly. Don't bring her shame. She's a young woman. She made a mistake. But it is my right. I'll just divorce her quietly. And then he had a dream. Brothers and sisters, I have dreams sometimes. I think I have a dream every night. I have never made a radical life change based upon what happened in a dream. Joe did. And what's more is we know that just after Jesus is born, he'll have another dream. And then he'll walk into the kitchen that day and say, Mary, pack your bags, we got to go to Egypt. Joe, did you have another dream? Yes, we got to go. Right now. But he did. He uprooted his family's life. And Mary had a little baby infant, newborn. Imagine what was going through her head. But because he believed, because he recognized the voice of the Lord, because of his holiness, because of his faith, because of his goodness, he said yes. I guess I'll take a pregnant woman as my wife. Despite all my knowledge, all human wisdom. I guess I'll go to Egypt. I don't really, Herod doesn't seem to be doing anything right now, but I'll go. For years, maybe. That's what faith can do. Because St. Joseph said yes, because he put himself aside, he put his fear aside. Do not be afraid, Joseph, to take Mary, your wife, into your home. He changed the world. We are always tempted to be like Ahaz, to put our faith in other things, in armies, in money, in positions of authority, in ourselves. And we dig so deep in this sinful nature that when the Lord himself sends his prophet, sends his messenger, sends his angel, well, that doesn't align with what I want. No, I'm okay. Even though we need him, even though we're in a desperate situation, even though the armies of evil march against us, I can do it myself. I don't need to take on any more burdens. I don't need to make any more sacrifices. I don't need to give anymore. And the armies come. And they conquer. But if we choose to be like Joseph, if we choose to trust in the Lord, even though we don't understand, even though it doesn't make any sense, even though it contradicts human knowledge and human wisdom, if we choose to say yes to him, if we choose to get out of the way, if in a moment of need we accept the Lord's help, he can change the world through us. But we have to put aside our fear. We have to put aside our misgivings. We have to put aside our selfishness and open ourselves up to the Lord's will, to the pathways he has set before us. And no matter what, we simply need to follow him.